What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things.
With Shawn and Andrew.
What episode is this? 5?
Episode 5.
This is my favorite one yet.
I thought episode 4 was halfway through the season, but turns out I think Fox liked what they got and they made it 9 episodes instead of 8.
Yep.
So everybody buckle up because we got 4 more seasons. 4 more episodes.
4 more episodes. I wish there were 4 more seasons.
I know. No, I don't. This is a one and done thing for me. Was not that fun, to be honest. It was hard and painful.
This was, what was this guy called?
Postman's Walk.
The Postman's Walk and Murderball.
Of all of the episodes.
Guys.
Of all the episodes, this was the most surprisingly edited because I feel like they took out some crazy things that happened in real life.
In real life, though, there was way too much stuff that happened in one day for them to possibly, it should be a 3-part series, 3 weeks to cover one day. Let's first rewind. We just published last week the group interview that we did with the Nashville portion of the Special Forces cast. I don't recommend our own podcast often, but if you like this series and if you were going to listen to one of the Special Forces podcasts that we did, I would say that would be the best one. It's a great interview that encompasses everybody's personality, and that was everybody's personality on the show. It was great.
It was really fun. Lots of laughs. You'll get to know the perspectives and personalities, which is great. And then I came prepared with a whole notebook full of things that I want to discuss and monologue.
There's not a single thing on that sheet.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The episode 4 debrief that we did was controversial, to say the least.
Really?
Well, some people adamantly took my side and
with what?
The teamwork discussion that we had, and then some people thought it was absolutely useless and a waste of time, and some people adamantly took your side. So pretty fast. Honestly,
about the Andrew episode?
Yeah.
What do you mean the teamwork? Fill me in here.
People thought they said, "Oh, Andrew's idea of humility or teamwork, I agree with," or they said, "I don't agree with that concept."
Well, you know
honestly,
what?
I think it was the most engaged with podcast we've had all year.
I think you're perfect.
I think you're perfect.
Thank you.
I like
you're
you.
Cute.
Can I share one personal moment that was a highlight of my week last week? We found ourselves in the kitchen. I think it was our only time alone. We've been hosting people. It's been a blast. But when we host, usually there's not a lot of just Shawn and Andrew time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we found ourselves in the kitchen. We looked at each other, started giggling. And we said, I love having you as my teammate.
I love having you as my teammate, baby.
We have any personal updates beyond that?
No, I don't think so. We got through one of the craziest weeks of the year, which is Halloween, because it's Drew's birthday as well. So we had Drew's birthday and then Drew's birthday party and then all the Halloween parties at school and then Halloween. It was crazy. We had family come into town, but it was a blast.
Drew's birthday was one of the best days of my life this year because she got celebrated and we got to do a bunch of what felt like lifelong memory things.
Drew got honored at school. It was very coincidental that it happened to be her birthday. We got called up in front of 400 kids at school and honored for an extraordinary act of character.
Pretty amazing.
Bro.
Pretty amazing.
I got in the car after that and called Andrew, and I was a blubbering mess.
Shawn does not cry often. She was in tatters after that. And then we also got to go have lunch with Drew at school, which they don't allow unless it's your kid's birthday. And I was in tears that whole time.
You were crying the whole lunch.
Just got, you have these moments where you stop and reflect. And you're like, oh my gosh, we have a 6-year-old. Think about all the times we've had together. I went back through our old photo album and just from the day she was born was reliving some memories.
He was listening to on repeat the song Slipping Through My Fingers. I was like, you're doing this to yourself.
But also my dad used to come eat lunch with us at school. Same. And so there's that aspect of it. And that's what I'm saying. This is the stuff that Drew now at 6 will remember.
Yeah.
And then Halloween was my favorite year yet too. We carved pumpkins. We had a huge group of people over, which was a blast.
Yeah. And it wasn't even planned.
No.
I had a bunch of people text us and be like, what are you doing for Halloween? I said, we're making chili, cornbread, hot dogs.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come over. Not knowing or expecting, anything. We had 8 families show up.
There's a lot of people, a lot of kids.
We didn't take a single picture, which is totally fine.
It's too
but
chaotic.
Like, the kids were running, sprinting door to door.
Which was new this year.
I know.
This year's the first year that Drew and Jet like did their own thing, which was like really fun to see, but also scary.
We had 8 families. So that was 8 moms and dads who also, I learned this from our neighbor, highly recommend. But every year for Halloween, she does this, and she brought it over for our kids this year. Buy some sort of unique glow-in-the-dark items that parents and kids wear that are unique to your group. And it's like a easier way to kind of like...
Oh, that's what Jet was wearing?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an easier way
I don't even know.
if they, for some reason, get separated in a crowd to be like, oh yeah, that's my kid.
Wow, that's a great trick.
With all of those moms and dads, we were like, I've got them.
Yeah.
I'm going that way. You're going that way.
We were not together at all that night.
No.
The weather was also really nice here in Nashville. Mm-hmm. So like the neighborhood was just coming alive. And then
they shut down like this neighboring streets to our house. It's such a vibe for trick-or-treating around really our house because they literally shut them down, and people from all over the city drive to like this area.
People make haunted houses in their front yard, like with tarps and everything.
Some were a little too scary, like even for me. I was like, this is a little crazy.
But then Shawn, also another hack, you filled the kids' baskets with tortilla chips, which like they would just kind of snack on and kind of fill their bellies.
And they didn't eat as much candy.
100%, they did not eat as much candy.
We didn't even make it to the end of the street, and Jet and his little buddy both looked at each other and like, we've got enough candy. We're going to go back. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was great. Fun times. Anyway.
We got to jump in.
Let's do it.
We got a lot to cover.
Let's do it.
Okay. So this episode was Postman's Walk and Murderball. If you watched, you will know what we're talking about.
Let me add, it was workout and then Postman's Walk and then Murderball.
Yeah.
It was a big day.
We did a lot. So we woke up, had breakfast, had to go into the square and do a workout.
Yes.
The workout was like holding the bag above our head. It was doing burpees and squat holds and doing a run around the square. It was probably like a 20-minute workout. It wasn't terrible, but it was a workout.
We didn't have to do as much crawling that day.
No.
Thank goodness.
So then we load up to go to Postman's Walk. We don't know it's Postman's Walk, by the way. Like all of these are always a surprise. They tell us literally nothing. But we get there and my worst nightmare happens. If you follow the show well enough, and if you've seen all of the other seasons, around midway in the show, they usually do something endurance, meaning a run, a hike, a really long event. And we hadn't done it yet. And I will never forget, we get out of the cars, we got our Bergens on, and they say, what is it, line up, rank order or whatever?
Yeah.
And I think it was Rudy leading, who's not wearing Bergens, by the way, even though if they had Bergens on, they'd be so fast. They just say, keep up. And it was in my mind, it switched. And I was like, frick, this is it.
This is it.
And we were on rugged terrain, not flat.
There wasn't even a path. We were just going over the rocks randomly.
We were running. It was like a run, jog, walk. And I will just say this. It had to have been over 2 miles.
I think we were walking for like an hour. Sorry, running. So I would say it'd be like 2.5, 3 miles.
Yeah.
If we were out there for an hour.
And all I remember thinking is like, we would go on these running stints, and right at my panic moment, because I'm not a runner and trying to carry the Bergen and like keep up and everything, right at like my panic moment where I'm like, how long is this going to be? We would start walking.
Yeah.
And then we would take off running again. And I thought it was fascinating. In the show, in the edit, they didn't show this. They showed us running like for maybe 5 seconds.
I can't believe how little of this they showed, and the after Postman Walk workout. They just kind of glazed through it. And the whole setup this is what made Chanel tap out, because it was very difficult.
Chanel tapped out on the run to Postman's Walk, so she didn't make it to Postman's Walk. But it was brutal. It was always this idea of like, if you can't keep up, we're going to pull your armband. And that was hard. It was a hard run, trying to run over rocks and get like the 3 miles in. I will never forget when we were doing this, I had 2 songs that I kept in my head, the you, whatever.
Forrest Frank.
And
Celebration.
I would sing that in my head because it was like a pace that I could follow with my feet. This is the only thing in my brain at the time. Or I would switch to 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Na, 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 na. And I would just keep singing.
This is a sidebar conversation. I've had conversations with CrossFitters or like high level athletes about the ability to distract yourself in times of physical pain. I think you're probably pretty good at that if I had to guess. This was brutal. And there's also the second time, I don't know how they do this so well, but remember on day one after the helicopter when our team lost, we did the same walk run cadence. And it was the same thing where like, I guess they have a really good beat on how long is reasonable to run because it takes you right to the threshold and then they would like do a walk stint and you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And it was brutal. You're out there with your bags on these rocks, super uneven footing. Like it was a sketchy situation. You're on the top of this ridge in the Atlas Mountains.
Really shocked nobody like broke an ankle.
Yeah, me too.
With the Bergens and stuff.
I'm looking back at my notes. On day 6, we woke up at 7. This was also the day they put the Kim games in place, the keep in memory games, where they gave us these sheets of paper. Oh my gosh. Do you remember that?
They bring it into breakfast. It's a full sheet of paper with all of these statistics about Morocco on it. Like very specific statistics. Like 1,758,251, whatever. And they're like, you better know it. And then they just walk out.
Yeah, they said memorize this. Didn't say when we would need to know the knowledge.
I remember when we had to know it.
Oh, on the dance? Wait.
No. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I forgot this. During the workout in the square where we're holding the bags above our head.
At the 9 a.m. bee sting?
Yes.
Oh.
The 9 a.m. bee sting. So it was a couple hours later after breakfast. You see a very small glimpse of us standing in the square and everybody is like struggling to hold the Bergen above their head. They're calling each person, remember that?
Yeah.
And asking you one of the statistics.
We crushed it too.
We did.
So woke up at 7, 8 a.m. They gave us a sheet. We had an hour to memorize it before the hour bee sting, you're right, at 9. But we were freaking out because we thought they kind of set it up like, hey, this is your alibi. And I thought it was going to be something we needed to know for the next few days.
Yeah, so we memorized it.
And they said, you have an hour with the sheet, and then after that, we're going to take it away. And so we're all like scrambling. They're also like, don't write anything down because if you get captured, then they might see that you have these notes taken and it'd be suspicious. Again, it was such a racket though, because the amount of time we freaked out about trying to memorize this versus the 4 seconds they spent quizzing us in the courtyard was just disproportionate. So then we go out in the car, we do this 3-mile hike.
We make it to Postman's Walk.
Which you come up on this chasm, this cliff, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is sick. First of all, do you remember the view that we had of Ouarzazate? This, like you're on top of this mountain in the Sahara, you look out, there's this one little village in the distance. There's also, you could see this on the episode where we did the dam rappel. There's a solar tower in the distance that was just captivating. It's like this glowing ball it's a tower that like it's solar energy plant, but you could see it clear as day, like no matter where you are, and you're just like looking out. There's a huge drop where you are, and then they're like, all right, you're gonna do a Postman's Walk, and they set it up. First of all, they didn't show any of the like setup that they said where you had to first get this huge box of ammo. You had to attach it to the rope and then kind of like parlay it across, which was a big deal. They made it seem like in person.
Yeah.
And then everybody had to cross over, and then you had to get another ammo box over or something like that. I think it was 2 total boxes. But meanwhile, if you weren't going, you were sitting on, they didn't show this either. You were sitting on this like 2-foot wide ledge.
Yeah. Looking,
which was like you're attached to a rope, but you're also right on the cliff. So like you're there for quite a while.
It was a long one.
And it was not like a chill, let's kick back and relax. It was like, oh no, we're on the edge of a mountain.
Yeah. I remember with this one, it was interesting. Foxy demonstrated it. And when Foxy demonstrated it, he obviously did it with ease, but like you could still tell it was challenging. And then I think I was actually the first group to go up.
Yeah, I think you were.
First group, but I was like the last person. And so I had set my expectations like this was going to be hard. You're going to be balancing, whatever. I think I got the easiest. I drew the easiest one.
Why?
Because I was so disproportionately smaller, or like small comparatively speaking to like Foxy and you and Decker and Randall, I wasn't heavy enough to move the wire.
Oh, like sink it down the foot? Yeah.
So it didn't really even move. And I remember thinking, like, even the top wire was heavy enough that instead of trying to keep it stable, I was kind of hanging from it.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I really think it was way easier for me than most people.
No, but look at the other smaller people on the show. There was still a lot of, I don't want to say this was like a crazy hard challenge, but you crushed it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I also wasn't scared of the height, and I wasn't like, there was nothing about this that psyched me out except for having to go first. I didn't really, you can't watch that and know what it's going to feel like. Like it looks very, you're like, I don't know. I've never done something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, confession time. There was a stretch this fall where I was living off of nothing but a coffee and whatever random snack I could grab between shoots. I'd tell myself, I'll make something healthier later. And then somehow I would end up at a drive-thru instead.
Yeah, or I'll just grab a quick wrap moment that turns into a $15 lunch. That's fine, but not actually filling.
Exactly. That's why we started using Kachava more. It's made our lives so much easier and honestly, way healthier. It is the whole body meal that gives you real nutrition without sacrificing convenience.
Each shake has 25 grams of 100% plant-based protein, and with every 2 scoops, you're getting 85 plus superfoods, nutrients, and plant-based ingredients. It's packed with all the good stuff, and there's no artificial flavors, no gluten, no soy, and no preservatives.
I personally love the chai flavor right now. It's perfect for the fall. I'll blend it with almond milk, a little peanut butter, some ice, and it feels like a cozy treat that's actually good for you.
My go-to is the chocolate one after a workout. It helps with the recovery and gives me steady energy throughout the day. Plus, it's super quick to make, which means no excuses.
Seriously, Kachava has been a game changer for keeping us fueled, even on the busiest days.
Your future self will thank you. Go to Kachava.com and use code EASTFAM for 15% off your next order.
That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com, code EASTFAM for 15% off.
So your weight was a disadvantage when it came to rappelling, but an advantage when it came to this.
Yeah.
It isn't. They did a good job at balancing things out. Like if you were in an advantageous situation here, they'd like balance it out.
And I just remember getting across and Foxy laughing at me, and he's like, "You're like a new species of rodent." What the hell was that? That was like, I was just laughing.
So the setup of this, when it was my turn, I went after you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, in my mind, I was thinking, game
You're gonna
on.
beat me.
We're gonna time this. Shawn made it. I mean, it probably took you less than 45 seconds.
Yeah, I was pretty fast.
She's kind of humming, and her arms were above her the whole time. That's what you're saying. Like the weight didn't separate the rope, so it was kind of easy for her to just shuffle across. But when we went up, you get off the little 2-foot ledge that you've been sitting on. You have to climb up, which is also sketchy.
It's precarious. Like it's.
And then Bill. Honestly, that was maybe the sketchiest like situation we were in safety wise, because there's a portion where you're just not linked into a rope, and you're like looking down this rock cliff.
Little asterisk here. You can always tell. It's not something that I realized until just now. You can tell Billy is the GOAT because he's always the last person you see before any challenge.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's like, because of his position.
Yeah.
But he is the last person to check you over and send you off. Always.
Yeah. And they always put him at the top of the dam or the beginning of the postman's walk.
The edge of the cliff.
So you get up there, he gives you this really brief tutorial. Again, he has an accent, so I'm picking up maybe 70% of what he's saying, which whatever. But he loops you in there, and he gives you a quick a couple hints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of, hey, don't lean back, try to stay right on your feet. And actually, he said the quicker you move, the easier it will be, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're moving quick and you get out of whack, then you're done.
Yeah. Because it's kind of that like
the shakes.
Like when
it resonates.
Yeah.
And it just kind of amplifies.
Yes.
So there was a couple people who really struggle with that, because I think Billy did not say always have the rope chest high.
So no. But that's how Foxy demonstrated it.
Yeah, which was a big thing. Anytime they did the demonstration, watching their technique was crucial.
But for the people who really wanted to go their own route, it was kind of like you just watch the pros do it.
But
We should be doing it the way the pros do it.
I was surprised to see like Decker
went rogue, bro.
Eric. It is tempting because you get up there, you're like, oh, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
To your point, so what's the right technique? And let me go. It's what's comfortable to me, but what's comfortable right now might not be good in about 5 yards.
Decker was perpendicular.
I can't believe he didn't fall.
Horizontal. What?
Oh my gosh.
Sideways.
Yeah, he was. I think both work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get up there. You kind of like the first step again was nerve wracking because it's just like the trust thing that makes your hands sweat, and my hands are sweating right now. Then you go out there, and it is pretty awkward to go. All of your weight is focused on your hands, right? And so when you shift from having your elbows above to below, it's another awkward movement that's like you could get thrown off.
But see, that's why I also had an advantage. I never had to shift. I was too small. So I was always just here.
That's how you started?
My only worry was like in the middle. Was I going to be dangling?
Oh, man.
So you actually had to like shift, which was sketchy to watch.
Yeah, and then there's a ton of stuff. Like the harness, you have your water bottle that it could get stuck on. You see Gia, the rope got stuck on her helmet. And then you're like in this weird situation where you can't adjust too much because you'll fall. So anyway, we both made it across pretty quickly, which I think is probably why they didn't show us much on this one. Foxy gave me a hard time. We had a good giggle.
It's like, are you always competing? Yeah, bro.
Shawn and I had a good little cheeky moment.
But then what they don't show, it's like we all get through this. And then we have to run back.
Yep.
The 3 miles. And then they left this out. So we run the 3 miles back.
Wait, sorry. Speaking of Gia, there's a couple things that they kind of hinted at, but didn't fully show. Billy would always play games at the beginning. And so he kind of knew who might be most nervous, or he just kind of had his thing that he wanted to do. And so whether it was at the top of the dam where he'd like pretend like he's throwing you over. Yeah. With Gia, I think he did the same thing where
she
he
got
like
pissed.
And started. She yelled at him. Yeah, which they do not like. No, so Billy's yelling back at Gia, and then at the end, Gia was nervous because of the helmet snag situation. Yeah. So Billy's then Foxy's yelling at Gia,
and then Gia's yelling back at Foxy. Like with sass,
a lot of passion. Yeah. And so that happened with Gia. I think it happened like 2 or 3 other times.
But then she got off the rope after yelling, and he's telling her, you can't do that. And she's kind of mouthing back at him. And then she rolls her eyes at him.
Oh my gosh. Also, while this is happening, we had a rock slide that I think while you were on the rope, like, again, we're on the side of this cliff. There's these huge boulders that started just tumbling. One guy lost his camera down the hill, and it's like, it was kind of like
what?
It was sketchy. So, anyway, there's a lot of yelling that they did not show, which again I'm surprised by because it was a heated moment full. Yeah, it was full. But anyway, carry on.
So then we get back, having had all this happen, and by now I want to give you guys like a temperature check of like the whole group. We've just lost Chanel; she's left, and I would say with the group that's left, we are now like super bonded. Yeah, it's a small enough group that we're comfortable enough calling each other out on things and saying like, tighten up here, or like, you've got this. We know how to motivate each other. We know what like really pisses each other off. Like, we've learned that in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. This is day 6. So like we've been with each other a lot.
So I remember Gia comes off the mountain and we can hear all of this. And we're all like, Gia, tighten up. Like, stop mouthing back at DS.
And we're all rooting for each other to make it to the end. We're like, we all have to make it to the end.
And I will say, this is the first group where there were 6 of us by now? 7?
No, 10. Well, because Eric and Jesse are still there. Murderball has not happened yet. So I think there's 10 or 11.
Okay. So by now we're all getting there. So then we have to line back up and we're like, oh, frick, now we got to run back. We run the 3 miles back. We get back in sight of the cars. We're probably 20 yards from the cars and they stop.
We're still doing the memorization things, by the way, that happened this morning. We thought they were going to bring it back up at some point, but we see the cars.
Then they line us up. And I don't think this was scripted. I think this was like on the fly and the DS added this in. But they line us up and they give us a chew out moment where they're like, no attitude, no talking back, no yelling at us, no rolling your eyes. And we all know like what they're referencing. But if someone does something, it's like a team thing. We all suffer the consequences.
We all
So
pay
then-
a price. Yeah.
They say turn around and look back up the mountain. And Rudy is probably standing 200 yards up the mountain. And they say on the count of 3, sprint. And I will never forget, he just says, it pays to win. You're going to run to Rudy and run back.
That's all he says. It pays to win.
So they say go. And we just start sprinting. And we have to sprint all the way up the mountain, back to up to Rudy and back down.
Keep in mind, still rocky, still have our bags on,
Yeah.
still have our boots on, still sketchy.
We get back and they're like, go again.
And there was no reward for the winner.
Not yet.
Not yet. We did 3 laps, like looping up and down this mountain. It was a steep slope. It was rocky and sketchy. And I remember on the 3rd one,
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, it was Q and Foxy at the bottom,
Yeah.
Rudy in the middle,
Yep.
and then Billy at the top. And Rudy, by the time we got to him on the 3rd one, it was me, Cody, and Randall were
Yep.
kind of at the front of the pack. Rudy looked, he was like, are they sending you back up again?
Yeah.
He was shocked.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't believe you're doing it 3 times. Also, by the way, they showed a quick clip of this in the episode. It was taken out of context because it wasn't at the beginning. But when he first had us do this lap, Cody, Randall, Decker, and I took off up the mountain. We thought we were just going to do 1. Cody is a gazelle.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know
get it.
what his
I don't get
regimen
it.
is.
I don't get it.
But Randall and I are both trying to keep up with Cody. We're looking at each
Cody's
other like,
flying by.
Randall's an NFL wide receiver. I think he ran a 4.3 at his
Yeah.
prime.
And Cody's blowing by them.
And we're 20, 30 years younger. Don't understand it, but it was hilarious. And we were just honestly impressed.
Okay. So 3 laps in. Now Cody has finished first or whoever. No, I think you were the first one.
No, Cody's finished first. No reward. These first 3.
Okay. So
There
then
was
it's
none.
the 4th lap.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're all on our 4th lap. Guys, we're dying. They've switched it up to do lunges, jumps.
Carry it like a baby.
Oh my
Carry
gosh,
your
you're
back,
Bergen.
your Bergen like a baby, which is 40 pounds.
And they just keep
front-loaded.
saying it pays to win. So then on the 4th lap, the first person who crosses back down to the finish line, they're like, you're done. Everyone else, go again.
Which was me. I was the first person.
I was
I
so
lost the
pissed.
first and second lap, but I had greater endurance.
Because you're endurance.
Yeah.
So then the next lap goes, and the first person to make it back down, who was Randall or Cody, they're done. And they're like, everyone else, go again. And I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It was so much running. I was probably 6th because I was behind all the guys. It was you, Decker, Randall, Cody, Christy. Oh, frick.
Yeah.
Christy, because she was so fast. And after we, one by one, we're going again and again and again and again and again. And I was just like, this sucks.
So at a minimum, you did 4 laps. I only did 4. But
I was
since
at-
there was 10 or 11 people, you could have at max done
12,
13 or
yeah.
14.
So I think I was at lap 10 when I finally got called done. And then, so everyone finishes on lap 13 or 14. And then they're getting a plank. We have our Bergens on our back, and they're just hold it. And this is where they're reinforcing, we're not going to take any attitude, any sass, whatever. Decker keeps falling down.
No, it was so hard, Shawn. Because we're trying to do a extended high plank on rock. So it's
Andrew?
Shawn.
I'm smaller than you.
No.
I had the same amount of weight in my backpack as you.
We're doing this high plank with our 40-pound Bergens on.
And I was fine. It hurt like crap, but I was up. I was so mad at you guys when I saw you drop. I was like, I just ran 6 more laps than
We're
you.
not all
and
as
I'm
athletic
still,
as you, Shawn.
it was miserable. Okay, anyway, so we finally finished this workout. They call us up. They said, get in your cars. Now, jump to the little clip on the show where Decker is throwing up out of the window. It was because of this workout.
But they didn't show a second of it.
No.
Which was crazy. I mean, I get it. It's not like a helicopter. It's not some crazy backdrop. It was just probably the hardest workout we did.
Yes.
But they didn't show any of it.
And then there was a clip where we were back at the barracks and Bree was like, my legs are dead. That's why. It wasn't because of Postman Talk. It's because of that freaking workout.
Yeah, it was. And so Gia's, by the way, crying on the last lap because I think it was her, Bree, and Mark finished the last. Is that right?
It was brutal.
But at least Gia was crying. I think 2 of the 3
Bree
of them
was crying.
Were crying. And I thought Gia was going to tap out here.
I know.
She said several times, I can't do this. I'm done.
I was so impressed that she didn't.
But she kept with it. It was crazy. We get back in the car. We were all like, wow, that was serious. So then we go back to the base. Having done all this nonsense, and we have lunch.
Yep.
And then we have maybe our biggest break from the whole show.
Yeah.
We had from 2 to 5.
They pushed in a lot of interviews in this. So interviews being when they would call someone into like the interrogation room. And we always knew if they called someone into the interrogation room, there would be about an hour before we were going to do something.
Yeah.
And I think they called 3 people in back to back.
And someone was asking us the other day, so I was like, oh, so you had like 3 hours of downtime? And it was like, no, not really. You're mending wounds. You're like putting Band-Aids or wrap back on. You have to weigh your bag constantly. You're packing and repacking things from your shoe locker.
Washing your clothes.
Washing your clothes. There's all this like kind of housekeeping. If you have toilet duty, you're doing that.
Yeah.
Washing dishes.
And you're just on edge because you don't know when you're going to get called.
Yeah. It's you're constantly on like awareness mode.
So then it's probably what, 4, 5?
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. We left.
They finally call us back and we're like, oh, frick. This is like, we're all gassed. And we don't drive very far, but I remember we get out of the car and we start running again. And I was like, jeez, can't get away from it. It's probably a mile run.
Yeah.
And we show up to this mud pit field and we're like, what is happening? And they go on to explain the rules. We are playing murderball. We're going to separate you into 2 teams. There's no rules. Anything goes, but get the ball across the opposing people's line. And the way it worked is Billy would throw the ball up and call any amount of people from either side. So like you'll see they call the numbers 10 and 11. So one person from one side and one person from another. Or they would throw the ball up and call 3 and 3 or 4 and 4. And it was just balls to the wall, do whatever you want and try to score. I don't know how people didn't get more hurt. It was fun. It was fun. It was the least serious thing we did. It felt like we were truly playing, but it was so dangerous.
I never hit the point of feeling like I was having fun. So the context of this is we get out of the car, we do this mile walk, we're going through this village, and then you pop out in this like riverbed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this. There was through the town this one strip of palm trees, which is where we kind of debriefed for the tunnel exercise, where like we're in the jungle. It felt like you pop out on this riverbed, and there's this like little mud portion of it that they had looked like they made it muddy.
Yeah.
And it's Mark, Christy, Cody, Jesse, and I. Yeah.
Yeah. On one team
versus Decker, Shawn, Gia, Bree, and Randall. And then it's Decker and I are the first 2 called.
Yeah.
And I felt like the first 3 steps, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I realized and saw how fast Decker was running,
yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
What is this situation? It's like dangerous.
It was fun
dangerous.
because it was a game. It wasn't like someone screaming at you. You're not trying to, jump out of a helicopter. It was fun because it was a game, but it was so dangerous. Especially with all of us athletes out there who are like so hyper aware of your body and the rules and like what's smart. Mud, terrifying. ACLs, joints, slipping, no body gear. You have massive discrepancies of weight and size.
3 NFL players out there.
Versus 4'11", 120 pounds versus almost 300 pounds with Cody.
And it's full co-ed, so they could call a boy and a girl or whatever combination
They
of that.
called me and Cody.
Which is
comical. Okay, let's talk pajamas for a second. I used to just throw on any old t-shirt and call it a night, but lately I have realized what I wear to bed actually matters. When I feel good, I sleep better, and these new Skims sleep sets are next level.
Yeah, I can confirm. Shawn converted me. I never used to wear real pajamas, but now I'm all in. These are honestly the softest things I've ever slept in.
Right? I had told you guys about their underwear and what the game changer it was. Now it's the PJs. So the first time I put mine on, I was like, oh, this is dangerous. The fabric is buttery soft, super lightweight, and somehow makes me feel instantly relaxed.
We have been living in ours lately. Morning coffee, movie nights, all of it. And Skims has something for everyone. Women's, men's, kids, even pets. So the whole family can match for the holidays.
We've kind of made it a little tradition now. Matching PJs, hot cocoa, a holiday movie, and yes, Andrew's officially a matching PJ guy now.
Only during the holidays. Only during the holidays. And I'm proud of it. Seriously, these are the best pajamas we have ever owned.
So if you're looking for the perfect cozy gift this season, shop the best PJs at skims.com/couplethings. After you place your order, make sure to select podcast in the survey and choose couple things from the drop-down menu.
And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for everyone on your list, the Skims holiday shop is now open at skims.com.
That's skims.com/couplethings.
I don't even know. Were they aware of the numbers they were calling and who?
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
But okay, so they call Andrew and Decker, and you guys went at it.
Yeah, I caught the ball first because I thought that would be the strategy. Is like get the ball and then we're gonna play like tackle football. And then Decker brings me down. We figure out how slippery and muddy it is because as soon as he got me down, I lost the ball, and then we were like, you can't get up in that type of mud very quickly. So he gets the ball and scores, which they did not show. Shout out Fox for not making me look bad. But then
you scored so many times.
But then they did several people. And
that's where it got so sketchy.
And I think your concussion happened early on.
No, it was towards the end. It was the second to last play because it was after that. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Well, I think maybe then it was my second time going that Randall Cobb gets the ball.
You broke your
and
ribs.
they would also vary the timing of your number called. So they might call Randall and give him time to catch the ball and give him time to make it 80% down the field towards our end zone. And then on this one, they called my number very last minute. So I come running, trying to prevent him from scoring and tackle him. And I just feel the right side of my body collapse, get the wind knocked out of me, which I haven't happened in a long time. And I thought, I just broke a rib. I can't move. I'm done.
So later on, when we're finally home, let me just say that, we do go on to find out Andrew had broken 2 ribs.
Just one rib.
Oh, just one.
But I was in so much pain. And that's why, again, I was not like, this is so much fun.
I know.
I was injured. And then I realized, I look at Christy, who they were sending her out there like every other run. She scored
exhausting.
8 times. We probably did 30 total reps. Is that right?
Yeah.
She was going every other time.
Also, she was made to do that. Olympic soccer player. She's just she turned on a different level of intensity that was terrifying out there.
But it wasn't worth it.
No.
Because then she starts coughing.
Yeah.
And she's gassed. And I won't spoil this one, but murderball was a pivot point. And the DS didn't realize that until afterwards either.
So then my concussion, which they didn't show, which is probably smart on their part, they had called a group of us. So I think it was 2 and 2, where I find myself in the middle of a wrestling match, which I think happened 8 times. It was me and Jesse.
Just a scrum.
Jesse has claws of steel. I do not understand. She would always end up with the ball on the ground, and I'd be trying to pry it out of her hands, and it wouldn't budge. At one point, I was trying to pick her up because I was like, "There's no chance of getting this." Whatever. So it's me and Jesse. I'm pinned on the bottom, and my head is kind of sticking out. And that's when they were calling more people in. So they called Christian and Bree. They come running, and it was complete accident. Christy didn't see it, but Christy, Olympic soccer player, makes connection with my head.
With her leg.
With her leg. And I think I've had a concussion in my life from falls and gymnastics. And I don't even know I'm so self-aware of my body. I don't even know how to explain it. But it was when I got kicked, I was in space. I was floating. And in my head, I'm like, I'm good. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine. But I was like, something feels weird.
No, the sounds you were making did not sound fine.
And so everyone's now cleared the field, and I'm just trying to stand up. And you're in mud, and I was already a little discombobulated, but I go to stand up, and I can't stand up. And I was like, this is weird. Balance is normally fine. And I was just like, I just need a second. And I remember the only thing I kept thinking is, I just need a second. And I remember Foxy calls at me, and he's like, you good? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I'm good. And I just had my eyes closed. And then Billy comes, and then Jesse comes, and then Andrew comes. Again, I felt perfectly fine. I just felt weird, which is probably a bad sign. Billy's brushing off Jesse, he's brushing off you. He's saying, go back. And I just remember he grabs my hand, and I'm just squeezing 2 of his fingers, and I'm squinting one eye, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yep. And he goes, how many fingers am I holding up? I was like, 2. But I couldn't open my eyes. And then I turned to walk back, and it's it kind of started straightening out, the world. And I just get back to the sideline where Decker was. And Billy had called you back to your side. And so Decker grabs my face and looks at me and he's like, "Are you good?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm fine." But I will say, fast forward, probably should have gone under concussion protocol. But like, we had to run a mile back. I was very self-aware of I was trying to look at the sun to see if my eyes were sensitive, if I had a headache, if I felt nauseous, if I was dizzy, if I was unstable. I didn't feel anything after that. It was just for that 3 minutes, I
did not enjoy that.
Floating in space.
When you tried, you're on all fours at one point, and then you tried to stand up, and you were just stuttering backwards. And then I tried to go out there and meet you, and they're yelling at me, "We got her, love." And it's okay.
It's my wife.
Yeah. Honestly, I was this part of the show was frustrating where it's let me check on my wife.
Yeah. They bring that up in my interview because at this time my interview had technically already happened. They just haven't shown it yet. And they're like, "He's just always there. He's he can't even let us take care of you." And they tried to paint this as a bad thing. And I was
I was
actually
overbearing.
Incredibly endearing.
But also I was not
no.
This was the only time where I kind of broke outside the rules and they were yelling at me. They're like, "She's on the other team. We got her. Go back to your sideline." It's I'm going to meet her at midfield here and I'm going to check to make sure she's okay.
It was comical. I mean, overbearing is absolutely comical for our dynamic.
Oh
because
my gosh.
We're literally the ones yelling at each other, "Jump off the cliff," whatever.
I don't know. So the rib thing happens. The concussion happens. Randall tackled me and forgot. Literally, he said, "Oh, I forgot we're wearing helmets." He went nose to nose with me. And so I got
Busted your nose.
A second bloody nose. And then he also thought he broke his nose. Mark got hurt.
Yep. Mark got tackled real bad.
And then
so
at the end, do you remember Cody got shoved in the face? Not once, but twice.
Billy.
By Billy. Cody was, I forget what happened, but
he just wouldn't stop talking.
And so Billy takes the ball and shoves it in Cody's face, pretty much punches him.
Yeah, but with the ball.
Yeah. A lot of this happened and we were all pretty torn up afterwards. And it wasn't until the game was over that I saw Decker for the first time was in really bad shape.
Decker got really hurt.
By the way, we're all just covered in mud and they have us. We got one water break in this 45-minute game. We probably did 30 reps again, but we got one water break sucking in all this dirt. It was brutal physically.
So I remember that my concussion thing happened, and that was probably 75% of the way through this whole challenge, which is probably 30 some minutes in. While I was on the sideline, they called one other team to go, a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2, came back. And remember, that's when they called team on team.
Oh my
And the producers
gosh.
cut it.
They were going to have 5 versus 5.
That would have been bad.
So the evolution of the game went from people initially going for the ball early to realizing that it's always going to end in a scrum and it's better to be second to the ball and tackle that person who initially gets it. And then my favorite moment, I'm curious what yours was when they called Shawn and Cody. At one point, Shawn just monkeyed
his neck.
It just on his back. I think you had him in a chokehold trying to bring him down. And it was
just choking him out.
It was just a hilarious depiction of an incredible competitor like Shawn, totally physically mismatched in a sport she never played before, but you're still doing an excellent job.
I was like, what the frick am I supposed to do here? You called me against a 300-pound man.
You did the thing. You did your job.
I was choking him out. I had this on one of his thighs and then on his neck. And I was just like, maybe this will, and I just kept squeezing.
Oh my gosh.
But when they called team on team, you could tell there was a disagreement with the cameras who are supposed to be completely quiet, behind the scenes. It was almost like this, we're done. But medics were on the side watching. Again, we didn't have any interaction with medics, but they were always watching. And I do think when they called team on team, there was this consensus of, I think we're done. We're all too hurt.
I'm trying to think of other highlight moments from that.
I remember on the run back, because it was the mile run back,
Yeah.
all the DS were running side by side with us, and you could see it was like one DS after another was going up to Decker, to Randall, to you, to me, to Mark, and they're like, give me an inventory here. How hurt are we? Are you okay? They showed one clip of Billy talking to Decker, and that's where you could tell like it was bad. I tried to take Decker's bag because I was running in line with him.
We had to stop multiple times, or he fell behind the group just because I think it was his hip, right?
His hip, and he
his
slipped
back
a disc really bad.
Was just in bad shape. So he's like grunting,
It was
heavy breathing, not in a good spot. This is why I could not have
I
fun,
know.
because it was such a dangerous situation.
Yeah. And again, as athletes, you can truly see pain, and you can see like,
Yeah.
there's a difference between like pain that is pain and it's there and you can work through it, and there's a difference between like that and like injury, and we could all feel it. Decker was hurt, and he was hurt bad.
It was a pivot point physically. It also felt like a pivot point with the DS, understanding what they were putting us through, and it shifted tones, I feel like, on their end. But the whole run back, Decker was in bad shape. I was in bad shape. You were in bad shape. And Foxy came up to me. He was like, "Did you have fun?" I was like, "That was my least favorite thing we've done," just because it was dumb.
Carnage.
Yeah, total carnage.
I would also be so curious to ask the DS. We're gonna try to get all the DS on a podcast. If we went harder than they expected us to go on that.
Yeah.
Because I think what maybe was intended to be like I don't know. I just think we all went balls to the wall with more intensity than maybe everyone was expecting.
Yeah. Well, frankly, I ended up, this is the one time I dropped an F-bomb was during murderball, because my strategy shifted from, let me go try to score points to, all right, let me play. I played safer on this one. After I cracked my rib, I was like, I'm just going to like try not to get hurt. And I was also yelling at the team. I was like, stay on your freaking feet and keep your head out of it.
Yeah.
And don't get hurt, because none of us have any protection on, no helmet, no shoulder
We had a
pads.
mouth guard. That was it.
But let's see, we got done with that at 7. We had dinner. And from that point forward, like Decker went to go see the medic several times. He was kind of laying on his cot, rolling out. Him and Jesse were having sidebar conversations.
We all start falling asleep.
And then at 11 o'clock, Eric and Jesse say,
we're done.
We're done. He got medically withdrawn, and then Jesse
VW'd.
Yeah.
With him.
To go along with him.
That was a huge blow to the whole dynamic of the whole group. Jesse and Eric were like a very pivotal, central morale for all of us. And
we lost 3 people in one day, which was like crazy.
I remember, I will never forget waking up the next morning without Jesse and Eric and it being like, frick, like it feels different.
And now at this point, the barracks and the bunk room are feeling super lean and super sparse.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait. I'm trying to think of other parts of this episode that they missed.
I mean, are we going to talk about you laying out Bree?
No, Bree, I'm sorry. There was one moment where they had Bree running full speed, and then they called me again last minute
to get Bree.
And I just felt shame after that, where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I felt like a pawn that was just doing as I was told.
I mean,
thoughtlessly.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I had been laid out by 3 different guys by then.
Man,
you're just too kind of a soul. So it honestly, when we went back and we were washing all the mud off our clothes and getting changed, it was just kind of like this decompression time of like, what did we just all experience?
It felt like the most amount of pain and suffering, but also as a result of that, the most bonding. Where like the amount of giggles we had after the fact were hilarious. Also, is at this point, pretty much moving forward, I couldn't sleep because of my rib. I couldn't lay down horizontally, so I was in a real bad spot. They didn't show any of you trying to work on me when my back did.
Not on the episode, but like we have footage that we can show. I was trying to like massage you, thinking you had like really bad knots, which is not uncommon for you. Little did we know you had broken bones.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think through all the nuances of what happened with Eric and Jesse too. with Eric, he asked for a shot, right?
Yeah.
A cortisol shot,
cortisone,
shot.
but they didn't have it.
And also, this is when we learned that you don't want to go see the medic because Eric didn't really want to. He didn't want to leave. All he wanted was some medical help. But at some point, I think there's a threshold where the doctor's like, hey, if you didn't come see me, I'd have let you stay, or you could have stayed. But now that I see the condition you're in.
Yeah. Which, like, it makes sense. He was in too rough of a place.
Yeah, it wasn't good. He couldn't even stand up.
Even thinking about, like, he would not have made it.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I don't even know how he got on a flight home without getting serious medical help.
Yeah. But pretty much the takeaway for us was like, don't go see the doctor, no matter if you have a broken rib or whatever else.
I mean.
So anyway, crazy episode. We'll show all the highlights in a main channel YouTube video where it's like Shawn and Andrew clips. So there'll be some fun murderball takeaways there. And also you could see our postman's walk, which was fun. And then we also need to work on scheduling the DS to come here in Nashville.
I know.
Got to do it.
Or at least get them virtual. I would love to get them in person though.
I was looking for questions that people had from our live stream, but did you see any questions that people asked that we could address here?
We need to do another Q&A, specifically just focus on Q&A because there's a lot of good ones. We'll probably go one more episode and then let you guys ask all the questions.
Another one recap episode?
Probably.
And then do another Q&A?
Probably. What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know how it'll fall. We'll see.
It's fun to see how much y'all are enjoying this. So thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show and give it a like, no matter what platform.
They also gave a little quick preview of next week, which was Andrew and I bawling our eyes out. So get ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like out of context, but fine, it's whatever. It's going to be a good one. Anyway, that's all we got. I'm Andrew.
I'm Shawn.
Until next time.